Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope everybody's doing well today. How's everybody been? Hope you can hear me okay and everything's going good. So today I'm starting a little bit earlier, so hopefully most of you can join in and hang out with me tonight. The best way to be notified if I do end up having, because not every week I can always do it at the same time. Sometimes I'll have to do it a bit earlier like today. So the best way to stay notified is to subscribe and then click the bell button. So the bell button is what turns on notifications. So if you are already have that bell button checked off, then you would have noticed, like today you would have got a notification half an hour. I believe YouTube sends it out about half an hour, 15 minutes sometimes before. They'll send it out before I go live. So that way you know that I go live in case I go earlier. Or the other way to stay connected would be like go on, follow me on Instagram or even on Facebook if you use either of those two platforms. And I frequently will post to my stories when I'm going live. So that's another way to keep updated. I do try to release like the YouTube video a few hours ahead of time, like make the thumbnail and everything, and that way that will tell you also. So just always check that to know what time I'm going live at. Most likely it'll be 7, but sometimes it'll be different time. So all right, so how is everybody doing? Today we're going to be talking about cooking oils, and I feel like this can be a bit of a controversial topic. Like some people do not like cooking with oil and they just do not eat oil at all for many reasons, and some people are okay with oil. Some people don't know about like if there's oils that are bad, oils that are good. So that's kind of what I want to go through today. But most people, like you, all of you that are hanging out here tonight, what are your thoughts on oil? Do you cook with oil? Do you eat oil? Are you against it? Do you not use oil? Or even let me know which oils do you use. So let's just chat a little bit about that. Okay. So we're going to be talking about like just the different types of oils and the ones that are better quality than others, ones that you should try to stay away from as well. So that's kind of what we'll be talking about. And we'll answer any of your questions that you have. Okay, I like avocado oil. Nice, that's a good one. So we'll talk about that. Hi, hello everyone. Thanks for joining. How's everybody doing? Tonight it's brighter out because it's 6 o'clock instead of 7, so that's nice. We got some light out while I'm live streaming. You can probably see me a bit better. Okay, everyone's doing good. I know of avocado, canola, olive, and vegetable, but I don't know which are better than others. Okay, nice. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, those are pretty common ones. I use olive oil for salad. Nice. Good. Yeah, that's good. Okay, great. So let's talk a little bit about, let's just start with the ones that are, let's start with the best ones, the good ones. So when you're looking at oils, oils are made from different things. Some of them can be made from plants, some of them with seeds. So we'll kind of go into that. And then also when you want to know like what it's, what's it called? It's like heat, it's temperature that it should be cooked at, because if you cook it at too high, so like they have different smoke points. So depending on what its smoke point, that will also tell you how you should cook it, and then or how you should use it, and then like what the oil consists of, or does it have benefits, or what are its benefits. So that's kind of what we'll talk about. So okay, so there's a question, is cooking with olive oil bad? So we'll go into that when we talk about olive oil. And I use vegetable oil for French fries. Okay, so let's just start with avocado oil as one of the good ones. So avocado oil is a good one. I wrote down its smoke point, so let me just double check. I believe it's around 500 degrees Fahrenheit. No, is it? Yeah, I think that's what I wrote. Yeah, around 500, 520. So what it means when you're looking at its smoke point, so what this means is when oil gets heated up, if it gets heated up above its smoke point, it can start to oxidize and then produce something called free radicals. And then these free radicals can cause some damage in the body. So that's why when you're looking at an oil, you don't want to heat it above its smoke point. So avocado oil, like this one, is a popular one because it has a high smoke point. So most likely you're not really going to be cooking something like above 500. So that's a good one to use for like higher cooking. If you are even deep frying something, something at a higher heat, avocado oil is a good one, and it's very neutral tasting oil. So I don't know if you've tried avocado oil, but it's pretty neutral tasting. So it is a nice one to use, like as just general everyday, like if you're sauteing vegetables or cooking something at a higher heat in the oven. That's a good one. It's got pretty good like health benefits as well, similar to avocados, what avocados have. They have like good sources of fats. So that's a good one. So I would say avocado, personally, I use that as like my go-to when cooking vegetables on the stovetop, like sauteing vegetables, baking things in the oven at a higher heat. I will find that I use avocado oil. But what are everybody's thoughts on avocado oil? Some of you already said you like it, so that's good. So yeah, it is a good one to use. What else did I want to say about it? Yeah, so it's mainly that it's like has healthy fats and that it's able to be at a higher smoke point. When you're looking at oils, you also want to look at like the source and like how they're made. Do they have to go through a lot of processing to be made? As some of the other oils we're going to get into after are. Okay, let's go on to the next one. The next healthy oil, and this one is olive oil. So let's talk about olive oil. So let's talk about olive oil's smoke point. So this one is lower than avocado. So this one's around like 350. So that's typical for like when you're baking things. Sometimes you might even cook chicken or some vegetables at 350. So you want to, when you're using this one, you don't want to go above its smoke point. So you wouldn't want to be using it something at like above 400 in the oven, or something really sauteing on something high heat. And that's where there's a lot of talk about olive oil and like being careful with it, because it does have a lower smoke point than something like the avocado oil that we mentioned. However, it has a lot of nutrients in it. It has a lot of good fats in it, and it's been studied in like the Mediterranean diet, which is helpful for reducing like heart disease and protecting heart health. So olive oil is really good in that sense. It's got a lot of nutrients and benefits in it. So it is a very healthy one. But just make sure you don't go over its smoke point, and like having it raw is also very good. So if you have it on a salad, that's also like, that's a really good way of having it as well. So to answer your question, is cooking with olive oil bad? Like, only if you cook it heated above that smoke point, then it is bad. Let me see what else I wanted to say about olive oil. Yeah, so you can even use it for sauteing things. It's got vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, so that's good, which is helpful for reducing the bad cholesterol. So it's good in that as well. So it's helpful for heart health and anti-inflammatory. So olive oil is a good one. Okay. So avocado is good to cook. Is it healthy? Yes. Yes, it is good. It is healthy. It has good healthy fats in it. It doesn't. So whenever you're looking at like oils, you want to see what the balance of like omega-3 to omega-6s are. It does have more omega-6 than omega-3. Most oils do. Omega-3 are higher in things like fish oil and flax oil, but however, it still has a good amount of them, and it's still a healthy oil. So if you guys like these style of videos where we talk about comparing, like let's say comparing a food and what's healthy, like for example, what's healthy and not healthy, give this video a thumbs up to let me know that you like it, and I can do more like this where we're talking about like comparing like the good and the bad of some certain foods. So let me know if you like this kind of style of video. Okay, so that's olive oil, that's avocado oil. So let's go on to another one. So those two I would say are pretty good. Those are staples that I use, that I think most people do use. Avocado oil to cook things at higher temperature, olive oil more for raw or lighter cooking of things. So those are those ones. Another one which is not too popular, like I don't find it's as popular as those ones, is sesame oil. So sesame oil has more of a nutty taste. That one is also a good one, a healthy one. So that one has it's kind of in between olive oil and avocado for its smoke point. It's around like 400. So that's a good one. And then it's basically made from sesame seeds. So if you've ever had sesame seeds, you know that they have that taste, kind of like a nutty taste to them. So it can be used for sauteing things. If you want to have it raw on a salad, you could have it raw on a salad as well. It will give it a bit of a stronger taste. So it is nice. It does have some good antioxidants in it. That's helpful for overall health, for helping your heart health as well. So it is a pretty good one. Has anybody tried sesame oil? Does anybody cook with sesame oil? Let me know. It's not something that I cook with often. I don't really cook with it. Sometimes I've gotten it before if like a recipe's called for it. More like Asian inspired recipes call for it, but it is also a good one. Yeah, so that it's like I said, it's got a more of a stronger flavor, but it is a good one. Okay, so sesame oil is good on vegetables. Yeah, it is. It's a nice one to have on vegetables. So, okay, so let's talk about another one that is also good. This one's better for baking. Actually, I have it here. I'm going to show you it. So this one's coconut oil. This one I bought was a raw and organic, and it's a cold pressed coconut oil. So I can even read the label because we were talking about that last week. So it's got pretty much, it's just fats, right? So it's like 15 grams of fat in a tablespoon, no trans fat, no sugar, no fiber, no protein, no cholesterol, no sodium, nothing, just fat. And that's pretty much what oil is. So coconut oil at room temperature, when it's like, unless it's really hot in your house, it will be more of a solid. As you can see on this one, it's more solid. And then it will get liquid as it heats up. So this one is good for baking. I find coconut oil is really good for baking. It like is similar to butter in that sense. So it's really nice for helping things stay like light and fluffy. It blends well when baking like muffins and cakes and cookies. So that's what I pretty much will use coconut oil for. I like it for that. It also, let me check its smoke point. I think it's pretty high as well. So it's around 350. So it's like similar to olive oil. Yeah. So it's like a decent one. So that's why I like it. Like it's good for baking because that's typically what you bake things at is around 350. So coconut oil is a nice one as well. There's also MCT oil, which is from coconut. Like it's the medium chain triglycerides. That's from coconut oil. That one is helpful to help with supporting like brain health, brain fog, memory. So yeah, that's a good one. So does anybody use coconut oil? So I would say out of those ones I talked about, so olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, and sesame oil. Those would be like the top pretty good ones. Never tried sesame oil. Okay, cool. Are combination oils good? I saw avocado, chia seed. Oh, chia seed. I think you mean chia seed. Was that at Costco? I think I saw that once too. I've never tried that. I actually wonder what that would, like, chia seed oil is very interesting because, yeah, chia seeds have good fats. They have good omega-3s in there. So that probably would get you more omega-3s in that, which is good. Let me look that one up. Let's see if it says like the ratio. Chia. I wonder what that tastes like, avocado oil. Oh, there's one that's like avocado MCT and chia. I wonder if that was the one that you saw. So because of the avocado, it's got a higher heat smoke point, which is good. It's got more of the omega-3s. So that's a good, yeah. Yeah, so I would say like if it is a combination, something like that, it is okay. Those are, but again, like just looking at how they're processing it when it's a combination. So for example, we'll talk about vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is a combination of things, and a lot of times it's like a combination of the bad things like soybean oil or like canola oil or corn oil. And that combination is not a good, but something like this avocado chia sounds pretty good. I would just look into how it is processed and see, but chia seeds have good sources of omega-3s, so that is a bonus. Okay, yes, you saw it at Costco. Nice. I think I saw it there and then I didn't get it because I was like, oh, this isn't the one that I want. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Costco. Does everybody go to Costco often? Or like, do you guys like going to Costco? You find when you go to Costco, you end up leaving with more than you planned for. Like maybe you grab some other extra snacks that you didn't mean to grab because they looked good. That happens at Costco. Yeah. Okay. So those are the good. Let's move on to the not so good ones, the bad ones. So does anybody have any idea of these ones? I think I kind of said some, but yeah, let's see what you guys think about these ones. Or let me know if you have any questions about any of those other ones we talked about. Okay, so ones that are kind of popular that you'll see often are things like sunflower oil and safflower oil. So these ones tend to be in a lot of like packaged food. So if you look at your chips or crackers, it always says sunflower and or safflower oil. So like I always wonder, like, is that like a combination of the two, or they don't know which one was used that day, but that's what I always see on the back of boxes or back of chips will say something like that. So these ones aren't as bad as something like canola oil because the way they're processed is not as bad, but they don't really have many benefits to it, and they are pretty much just the omega-6s. They don't have too many benefits to them, as do like something like olive oil is healthier for you. So they are something like, I wouldn't say to cook with them. If you buy something that's packaged and has it in it, like it depends how much of that you're eating. If you're eating some like bag of chips every day, that's probably not the greatest. But if you're having it once in a while because it's in the packaged food, it's not so bad. So that's the sunflower and the safflower oil. Those are both from seeds. Okay, so somebody asked about peanut. Let's look up peanut. You know what? I don't really know about peanuts. Oil smoke point. Interesting. So peanut oil. Oh, and also showing me sunflower oil. So those ones actually have low smoke points. Oh no, this is Celsius. Wait. Fahrenheit. Okay, so it's 450. So it's got a higher smoke point, peanut oil. Yeah. So it is nuttiness, and it does have nuttiness, and they use it in a lot of things like deep fried foods. Now, yeah, exactly. So it's like doesn't really have too many benefits in it compared to something like we were talking about, the olive oil or the avocado oil. So this would kind of fall in that same category as like the safflower and the sunflower. Does anybody use peanut oil? I find that this is probably something that's used more in like restaurants and things like that. Again, it's probably like a cheaper oil. So that's the other thing, when if you don't really use oil that often at home, but let's say you eat takeout a lot, or if you go out for dinner multiple times a week, or you order food a lot, then you have to be mindful of that. Like, you're probably getting a lot of these oils that aren't the healthiest for you. Yeah. So let me see if there's anything else on peanut oil that I can find. Yeah, so compared to like olive oil, peanut oil doesn't have many as the polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are the healthier ones. It has more of the monounsaturated. Okay. A lot of people go to Costco for the $1.50 hot dogs. Nice. Oh no. Maybe they're going to go up in price soon. Everything's going up in price, so maybe they're going to be $2 hot dogs. Okay, so let's move on to the last, and then we'll wrap things up. So the last group is like the really bad things. You really shouldn't cook with these ones. Stay away from them. And this is the canola oil, the vegetable oil. So the canola oil, it is like it's a lot. A canola oil and the vegetable oil, let's group them together. They're mostly just going to be genetically modified, or they're going to be processed in a way like canola oil. And I was reading about it, was like it used to be, where was it? It used to be started out as rapeseed plant, but as that contains two toxic compounds and can't be safely consumed, so then these two Canadian scientists figured out how to remove the compounds through targeted plant breeding and came up with canola plant. So that's can for Canada and ola for oil. So it's really like a breeded plant, so it's modified, and then they have to extract it through a long manufacturing process that involves chemicals like hexane. Yeah. So the only really benefit is that it's a neutral flavor and it's a high smoke point, but it's really not that healthy. And then, so vegetable oil is more of a general term that comes from plants. So it can be like vegetable oil. A lot of times might be soybean oil. Could be like soybean and corn. It's vague. It can just be a blend of oils without technically being anything. So it can be misleading. And also has a high smoke point and neutral flavor. But both of them are highly processed and most likely going to be genetically modified and have a lot of the omega-6. So it really isn't that healthy. And you shouldn't really be cooking with them. I would say go for the avocado oil as a neutral, higher smoke point oil. You also will notice, like, I don't know if you've noticed this, but if you've ever cooked with canola oil or vegetable oil, it's very smooth, very liquidy compared to something, and like very clear compared to something like an avocado oil or olive oil or even coconut oil. When it heats up, you'll notice it's a bit more thicker and it might be a bit more cloudier. Like you might, if you pour it, you might notice there's like a bit cloudier spots of it. And that's because the other ones, the canola oil and the vegetable oil, are so highly processed and they're so like changed. Their consistency is changed and modified that they're very liquidy and they're easier to use. So that's just something to keep in mind. Those two are bad. The ugly ones, I wouldn't use those two. Try to stay away from those ones. If for your everyday cooking, use the avocado, olive oil that we talked about. The coconut oil for baking is good as well. And then if you're trying to avoid things, avoid the canola and the vegetable. If you buy like a product that has the sunflower or safflower in it, don't worry too much about it if you're having it here and there. If you're going to cook with one, I would suggest to cook with the ones that have more health benefits as opposed to the sunflower or safflower oil. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about oils, and did that help to like clear things up, and maybe you know a little bit more about them now? So just keep in mind with the smoke points is a good one too. So like, yes, olive oil we talked about is healthy, but just be careful with its smoke point. The hot dogs have been $1.50 since 1985. They also lose money on their rotisserie chicken, but it gets people in the store to spend on other things that are highly profitable. Wow. That's an interesting fact. Was that from TikTok? That's pretty good. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So they get the rotisserie chicken because people want to buy it. I guess it's a good price, but then they end up buying more things. Yeah, it's like when you know those lineups, the cashier lines. They used to just be like, this is like things that like Winners, right? In Winners, and now other places too. But it used to be just like straight lines, and now it's like you gotta go through those lines that are filled with like little things, knickknacks, and things you don't really need. And I've seen it before. I've been like, oh, that's like a nice like chocolate bar or something. Maybe I should get that, or maybe like I need this mug, and it's a good way of getting people. Yes, avoid canola and use avocado. Yes, good. They also sell different oils like the ones you mentioned. Costco? Yeah. There's other oils too. Like there's even flax seed oil. That one has a very strong taste, but it has good omega-3s. There's other oils we haven't talked about, like, what is it? The other one, grapeseed? Yeah. Is avocado neutral taste? Yeah, I find it neutral tasting. It's neutral tasting, more neutral than olive oil. Coconut oil has a coconut taste to it. You could get it, what's it called? Refined, I believe, and that takes away the taste, but then I don't know what they do to process that. Personally, the taste doesn't bother me, coconut oil. Canadian Tire has a whole aisle of chocolate, peanuts, and chips before you get to the cashier. Yeah, exactly. They do that because they know people will buy it. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I wanted to chat about for today. I hope it was helpful, and let me know if you have any other questions. I'll leave questions open for the next few minutes before we wrap things up. Yeah. And also, if you have suggestions about any topics that you want me to cover, feel free to leave any suggestions. There's also like butter, and I know this is not oil, but butter is also okay to have. And sometimes butter can be, what's it called? Like people say butter's bad, but it's better to have something like butter than to have margarine. So margarine is made with oils. So margarine is made with probably things like soybean oil and those kind of vegetable oil, whatever's in there. So that's usually what it's made with, and those are not that good. Whereas butter, if butter is just like a good quality butter, even if you get like a grass-fed butter, so that's from like cows that are grass-fed, that's actually even a better butter to have because of the way that it's not as like processed as something like a margarine, those oils in margarine. It's actually okay to have butter too. So that's another option. And let's see what butter's smoke point is. It's 300. So it's a little bit lower than the other oils. Maybe it's like good for if you're sauteing vegetables, not at such a high heat. If you're cooking something like eggs, that would be, yeah, good to do. All right. All right, well, I'm glad you found this helpful. If you have any other questions, let me know. You maybe can enjoy some dinner tonight with some avocado oil or salad with olive oil. And we'll talk about more stuff next week. All right, everyone. Have a nice Friday night. I'll see you all next week. I'll let you know what time it is, but most likely will still be at 7. I don't think I need to change it earlier next week. So see you all.